items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue. It is a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for simply demanding fairness. From sex for grades scandals in universities to harassment in workplaces and political spaces, Nigerian women have constantly been forced into silence. We need stronger legal protections and a zero culture tolerance for gender-based discrimination and intimidation. My call to the international community is such that the world must not stay silent as democracy and women's rights are rolled back in Nigeria. I call on human rights organizations, women movements, and democratic institutions to hold the Nigerian Senate accountable. Nigeria needs global partners to push for women's political inclusion, safety, and protection from political harassment. You may ask, what are my next steps? I will resist the political intimidation. In the past few days, a number of my colleagues, my male colleagues, have reached out to me and said, Natasha, all you need to do is apologize and retract your statements. And I told them I am not going to apologize. I will not apologize for my truth. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I told them that I will stand the 6-month suspension, and the very first day I return, I will represent my petition on sexual harassment. And I will continue doing so until there is a fair and transparent investigation. I will fight, thank you. I will fight this injustice and continue to represent my constituents, whether the Senate wants to hear me or not. I will work with women's groups, civil society, and legal teams to ensure that this unconstitutional suspension is quashed. This is bigger than me. This is about ensuring that no other woman in politics or public office will ever be silenced again. Thank you so much.
For the first time, Natasha actually became teary. She's a very strong woman. Give that to her. But I think there is enough of, strong woman or strong-willed woman that a human being can take. Because of that appearance at the IPU in New York yesterday, it has now triggered the Ronokus and their base, Akpabiole and his own supporters in Nigeria, where some of them are already requesting that Natasha's suspension should be, in fact, right, extended by another 6 months. Make it 12, make it 2 years. Don't let her come back again. Part of their own argument, according to this mofos, right, is that Natasha has been told not to present or represent herself as a senator. Therefore, she said it too. She said she shouldn't be in that place. So her being there in the face of what Akpabiole and gang did is illegal. But she has nowhere else to run to than to tell the world what the criminals in Nigeria have turned your fake pseudo-democracy to or into. That trip, by the way, was approved by Akpabiole months ago, before the whole Wahala started, from what we gathered. But from the president of the IPU, our response was like, you know, we've heard you, but we would have to like hear from others, which is Akpabiole as well. Our response, the president.
Madam Chair, and I think people started clapping before I began to speak, but we appreciate your service, and also the conclusion that you have just given us is great. So thank you so much. But colleagues, let me also take this opportunity to thank all of you for having traveled long distances to come to attend to this meeting. It shows how you give importance to the workings of IPU, but also to the commitment that our parliaments and our countries should make towards gender equality. Now that we have had a chance to discuss about 30 years, how far we have gone, I think the insights that have been given and the good summary that our chair has just given us, it is showing us how we can actually go back to our countries and try to make a difference, since we are all at the center of this. I would also like to appreciate the people who have worked so hard to make sure this meeting is a success. And I will agree with the list that was given by our chair, and I'll begin with our interpreters. We really appreciate your good service, but also our secretariat led by Paddy here at the IPU office. And we really appreciate, and we appreciate also the people you have been working with, Alessandro, of course, Sandrine, and Zaina, and the rest of the team. We really appreciate. A round of applause for them, please. We also would like to appreciate the cooperation that we have received from you and women. Thank you very much. And that said, colleagues, there was a matter before I close the meeting. There was a matter that arose during the first session, which we had this morning. The matter that was raised by our colleague from Nigeria, Senator Natasha, and because all of us heard what she said, and it only serves us better if I put a word in what she has said. So I would like to say we have heard her concerns, and having heard her, it would have been an opportunity for all of us to understand more about what she has said. But because we listened only on her side, as an institution, as IPU, we will be taking the concerns that have been raised, not only taking her side, but also giving a chance to listen to the other side, as it is a custom for IPU. And after having listened to the other side, we will take steps as necessary. So I thought it was necessary for us to say a word about it and then be able to take it further. Excuse me? I'm still getting there. Thank you. So I thought I should let you members, before we think because she said something different from what the contributions were. So we have taken care of, we have taken the concerns that she raised, and we will be working on them, of course, having listened to the other side, and we will be able to take steps after that. I also recognize the fact that our Nigerian delegate who is here had requested the floor, Honorable Kafilat, but because of time, she wasn't given a chance to speak. But, like I said, we have heard the concerns that have been raised by Senator Natasha, but at the same time, we have taken cognizance of the fact that you would have wished to address us, but time wasn't enough to give you a chance to do that. And that said, IPU will be taking this matter as we usually do when such concerns are raised in meetings like this. So I thought members shouldn't go back home and feel like, yeah, Senator Natasha raised an...
So she seems to have beaten Akpabiole's delegates to that meeting. She beat them to, like she beat them in their game or beat them to it, so to say. So there is another lady there who they refer to as Honorable Kafilat. And you can bet what Honorable Kafilat was there to do, probably to defend Akpabiole. Unfortunately, there was not enough time for her to address them. So Natasha's address was taken on camera. On camera, yeah, not in camera. So they told her that they were going to, take it on and maybe go interview Akpabiole or invite Akpabiole to come and tell his own side of the story. I don't know. But Natasha is not going to give up. That you can be guaranteed. And yeah, it's normal that, if you are from that contraption, all right, and you are raised in such a way that you are always going to be, if you are raised to be part of those that loves to, shame women, there are some of you who feels like, women are nothing. They are this, they are trash, what have you. So where you can push your own misogynistic sort of traits and all that. So you have the field, you have the floor, continue. But you are dealing with a woman who has been there, done that. I mean, she's faced one of the most horrible human beings to have access to power, and his name is Yeye Bello. And at the end of the day, right, I think she won. So Akpabiole won't be, won't really be an exception. Of course, it may just be like a tougher shaki to bite. But trust me, if you know the history of Natasha, right, you can tell Akpabiole that he should be drafting his own apology letter at this point. But Nigeria is a lawless place where normal, right? They are bound to kind of get away with it anyway, right? So women have been reacting as well, because it's like, as much as Nigeria is a lawless place, as much as Nigeria is a place where you have ready-made Olori Burukus that are always going to be on the side of their own oppressors, just give them some crumbs. They will mobilize women group, men group, student group. Just give them just give them some crumbs. They will do the bidding for you. They can do all the mudslinging for you, and they will put their faces on it as well. All right. However, that hasn't reduced the reactions of different women group as well, supporting Natasha, calling out this misogynistic men inside that contraption. Toun was in Nigeria. Toun happens to be one of Tifnubu's. She called herself Tifnubu's daughter anyway. So ignore her and just take a look at what they are doing.
Has been suspended for 6 months just because they said she was arrogant, just because they said she was rude, just because they said she shouldn't have said what she said where she said it. But the fact remains, what happened to her. It is not about Natasha, it is about Natasha's gender. We are women. You are Natasha. We are Natasha. We are Natasha. I am Natasha. We are Natasha. Is it a crime to be a woman? Is it a crime to be a woman? Is it?
Oh, it is not a crime. You are just existing in a country of lunatics. you know, where they have what is called the rape culture, where men, especially those ones who have a little money and power, believes that, you know, they can do anything and get away with anything. Like, you know, you have money, you have power. Normal. Women were supposed to be falling heads over heel for you because you are the Senate president. You can have anything you want. Sheye Ogunlewe, the former Minister of Works from Ikorodu, said Natasha's beauty is her own undoing, something like that. That she is too beautiful for any man not to want to kind of make a pass at her. That her beauty is just our own undoing. Can you even believe that? Here is a doctor lady who has something to say about the issue as well. Listen.
Good morning, all. This Senator Natasha's sexual harassment matter is a deep source of concern. Some people have said that she should go and apologize. Apologize for what? If somebody sexually harassed her, as she accused the Senator Akpabiole, the Senate President, for harassing her, the matter does not need begging. The matter needs investigation. Sexual harassment is not something people play with. Many people think that this thing is just about Senator Natasha. Senator Natasha is at the height of in governance, more or less. Let's call her, she's at the level of female presidents of the Senate, because if there's a Senate president and she's a member, so if that kind of thing can happen to her, or more, there is problem in the land, and they are saying that they should silence it. I don't think that people know that women that are sexually harassed, they suffer. I'm not talking about the ones that go and package themselves in one funny way and now turn it to sexual harassment. Women that work hard to get to the heights that they get to in any level, and they are harassed, they suffer. Especially the ones that do not back down. When the men said, they say, oh, this is what we want, and you refuse. Some of them, they suffer for it. They suffer for it. Let this thing be investigated. If this thing it dies down, university, people don't know that people go through things in the university. Me, someone like me, when I was at, what year was I in medical school then? There was one lecturer that said, this one. I refused to cooperate. I repeated that year. That's what I suffered for it. You know, I was a young person. I don't know what I should have done. I suffered. And the following year, when I was repeating that course, by that time, I was already bold. I went to tell the man, if you try me this time, you will see what I will do. I told the man, I said that the exact word that Natasha used, that she said, I'm not afraid. When I've repeated 1 year, what am I afraid of again? I said, if you try me, that year, the man let go. I did my exam, and I've moved on. I'm now a consultant. So you can imagine, this is at my own that was when I was a young girl. It's not now that all these things have now become, there's so much indiscipline, so much sexual harassment all over the place. Let us investigate this. This thing should not die down. The Senate President, Oga, somebody has accused you. Step down. That's the honorable thing. Step down. Let them investigate. Is it true or not? It's not apology. That is part of our problem in this country. Our problem is... Good morning.
Asking us to apologize because they will say, do you want to spoil his name? Do you want to scatter his marriage? Do you want to scatter his family? Do you want him to lose his job? You know, do you know how many beautiful women that wanted to sleep with Akpabiole? That you are now trying to blackmail him. That's what they are saying. So people who get sexually harassed, even raped, have been blamed. You know, they have been blamed for what happened to them. There were those who felt like, there are those of you as well who have seen Natasha as like, she's so beautiful.